Everyone thinks civilization began with farming. The ruins beneath Turkish soil say otherwise. 1994, a shepherd in southeastern Turkey noticed something odd protruding from the bedrock, worked stone, deliberately placed. What Klaus Schmidt, a German archaeologist, would unearth over the next 2 decades fundamentally rewrote our timeline of human achievement. Göbekli Tepe isn't just old, it's roughly 500 years old. That's older than the pyramids by 5,000 years, older than written language, older than agriculture itself. And now here's where it gets strange, and this is the detail that keeps scholars up at night. This wasn't a village. There's no evidence of permanent settlement, no homes, no storage silos, no domestic refuse. Instead, what they found were massive T-shaped pillars, some weighing 16 tons, carved with intricate reliefs of scorpions, snakes, and foxes. Someone invested extraordinary labor into something with no apparent survival value. This brings us to our 5th discovery, the question of who built Göbekli Tepe. The conventional answer used to be simple. Hunter-gatherers, we assumed, lacked the organization for monumental architecture. They were too busy surviving. But the people of Göbekli Tepe were hunter-gatherers. Their stone tools and dietary remains confirm it. Yet they moved boulders the size of cars and aligned them with astronomical precision. That contradiction sits like an open door in archaeology's timeline. 4th on our list, the labor logistics. Researchers estimate that moving, shaping, and placing a single pillar required 50 to 100 people working in coordination. Not coercion, there's no evidence of hierarchy or violence. Coordination. That implies something we rarely associate with pre-agricultural societies: shared purpose, shared belief, a reason to gather, work, and then disperse back into the landscape. 3rd, the ritual nature of what happened here. Archaeologists found evidence that after each construction phase, the site was deliberately buried, covered, sealed beneath earth and rubble. Then, generations later, people returned and dug it back up to add another layer. This wasn't a temple in the modern sense, it was a palimpsest of devotion. A place people returned to across centuries, even millennia, because something about it mattered so deeply that forgetting it was impossible. 2nd, the absence of agriculture. This is crucial. Everywhere else in the world, monumental architecture followed farming. Population density followed surplus grain. Organization followed the plow. But here at Göbekli Tepe, the monumental came first. The ceremony preceded the civilization. People were willing to invest resources in the transcendent before they'd secured the practical. That inverts everything we thought we knew about human priority. And that brings us to number 1, the identity of the builders themselves. This is where the real mystery lies. The carved pillars depict predators, scorpions, snakes, boars, lions, dangerous things, but look at the human carvings, they're almost always faceless, featureless, headless even, as if individual identity was deliberately erased in favor of something collective, something sacred. The architects of Göbekli Tepe remain unknowable by design. The deeper question, what were they building for asterisk? The leading hypothesis centers on ritual gathering. Perhaps Göbekli Tepe was a pilgrimage site, a place where scattered bands of hunter-gatherers converged seasonally for ceremonies we can barely reconstruct. Feasting, dancing, collective spiritual experience. The stones themselves may have been secondary, the real architecture was social. They were building community across a landscape that otherwise kept them apart. What makes this genuinely unsettling is the implication. For thousands of years before writing, before cities, before the very concept of civilization as we understand it, humans were capable of this, capable of coordinating labor on a massive scale, capable of abstract symbolic thinking, capable of deferring immediate survival for transcendent purpose. Then agriculture arrived, specialization, hierarchy, writing, and we call that progress, but something shifted. Something was lost. Today, Göbekli Tepe remains partially excavated, deliberately so. The site is too vast, too complex to fully understand with current methods. Perhaps that's fitting. It's a monument that resists final answers. Every season brings new discoveries, more pillars, more carvings, more questions. The unseen architects remain unseen. Their purpose, their belief system, their names, all gone. We're left with stones and mystery. Subscribe if you want to keep uncovering the strangest discoveries that reshape history, because every week, we're digging into something that shouldn't exist, something that changes everything we thought we knew. Subscribe, we unearth a new historical mystery every week that rewrites what you thought you knew.